Hello beautiful people, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to a video in which we again have to do some battle tests with this new hero for Air Force, which is Mr. Kai. But in this episode we're gonna do battle reports with Mr. Kai in a different match configuration. So I truly hope that you guys watched the previous episode in which we had Cranston with Duke and Mr. Kai. And in that video, we more or less indirectly compared Kai right here with Barbie, to be honest. And we saw a very solid performance from Kai versus Barbie. And yeah, maybe slightly a bit higher, but it still doesn't change the fact if you are using Barbie right now, if you invested in Barbie and have her at 5 stars, I don't quite see the necessity to take another 630 universal hero charts and invest in Kai. I don't quite see the necessity. So now let's jump into today's episode in which we're gonna test Kai together with Bradley and together with Mr. Shinji. That's exactly what we're gonna do here. And also we're gonna test it versus Mr. DS. So that's why I have to show you different battle reports. First, this is the configuration with Cranston, Duke and Kai right here versus Mr. DS. Now we're gonna briefly go through the stats and the setup, so you guys understand a bit more better how strong the opponent is. So Mr. DS is a very strong setup here with a level 5, a level 5 and a level 5 Asuka. And of course I was using level 5 and level 5 right here. Let's compare a second the gear right here and check this more in detail. Of course, we can go to the Heavy Trooper. Now, granted, I also have this new Heavy Trooper, and I could have done the changes, but it doesn't change the fact this is my setup, and I don't think this will be extremely important for the sake of the video, or in other words, what I'm trying to highlight in this video. So here are the difference in the stats, in the chip stats. You also see here, of course, the perks are always on. So now let's go have a look into the stats. Of course, all these battle reports will be done with the Heavy Trooper and of course also with the Shark formation. So let's have a look at the Air Force stats. So you see him being slightly higher than me on Air Force HP bonus, but I'm a bit higher than him on Air Force attack. Of course, he has a bit higher Air Force damage increase. Of course, we want to have a look at the DF of all units. So you see me with a 26.2. He is only 12.3. And of course, DF of all units, he's at 87%. I'm a 58.8. So these are the stats. So let's start with these battle reports and kind of see what happens here. So you always have to pay attention, not just at the damage of Mr. Kai versus the regular attack damage of the whole battle, but we also have to look at the other hero's performance from the damage perspective. So these are super important informations. So let's go now into the second battle report right here, which is again the same setup, and then we're going to compare it with the different setup, which is the topic of this video with Brady and Shinji, of course. This is this battle report right here. Let's go to the third battle report, which is this one right here. And you see basically kind of the performance in general from this setup here, Cranston, Duke and Mr. Kai. So let's go to the next battle report right here, which is this one. And this is kind of, pretty solid performance here from my side, though definitely not something I would be happy with. Okay, and let's go to the last battle report in order to have this data to compare it with. So we basically see more or less the whole March performance from the damage perspectives. And of course, we see Kai with 140, a solid performance versus the total amount of regular attack damage, which is that 67.8. We see my Duke with 113T. And of course, Cranston is just a little bit, and you see on the other side exactly what's the performance from Asuka, but also from Striker and also from Brady. So these are the battle reports which we're gonna have to compare, because here we go, beautiful people. This is the setup in which we want to test this. And of course, indeed, I paid attention because Mr. DS has a Striker level 5. I again downgraded my Shinji to level 5 in order to kind of be a bit more equal. So nothing else changed. The gear is the same because again, my gear is always saved under the hero name. So that's why I won't be able to do any mistakes. Of course, you see here perfectly, the perks are always on. And again, we have a look at the stats, which did not change. So good, here are the battle reports, and let's have a look in here, and we see my Shinji there with 27.3 T, not that high damage. Look on the other side, of course, this is not necessarily something very representative for Mr. Shinji, because first of all, this is a very low amount of procs if you compare it with Mr. Striker. But what I'm trying to highlight here, Asuka, we have to pay attention at this hero. It's a hero which I absolutely love. There's no question about it. She has her own damage. On top of this, she's gonna help with the ignition on Brady, increasing Brady's damage, to be honest. And also on top, of course, she is helping also Striker, because she has also an offense buffing capability on top of Mr. Bradley's offense buffing capability. So this is pretty much why I have decided to actually stay with this setup. So what you see now on the left side, so I'm going to take Kai out and put my Asuka back in. Here we see a second battle report, and again we have to compare the numbers on both sides. So yes, Kai has a solid performance, but doesn't change the fact that Asuka has also a very nice performance, and she is a far better hero for Top War because you can literally use her on any unit type. So let's go have a look now into the next battle report right here, which is this one. And here I see a slightly better performance here from my side. And yeah, pretty much here you see what I was talking about here on Mr. Shinji with 8 hits in total, but reaching 82.5 T damage. And look on the other side, just 6 hits from Mr. Striker, and he reaches 99 T. So let's go to the next battle report, which is this one right here. And this looks even worse than the other results before. And again, we see very, very solid performance, of course, from Mr. DS March right there. So good, let's go into today's last battle report right here. This is the battle result, a bit more better performance, but yeah, would I have had Asuka in here? And you see my 15 procs from Mr. Shinji, I would have won this, no question about it. So anyways, beautiful people, this is pretty much here the battle results. And what I wanted to show you in this episode right here, the hero itself is not bad. If you are using Barbie, I don't see the necessity in investing in this hero. To be honest, I simply don't see it. And of course, my recommendation and what I will be using for Air Force, I will go back to Mr. Bradley with Shinji and of course with Asuka, because for me, this is absolutely perfect setup for the Air Force. Anyways, guys, yeah, don't forget to subscribe to the channel because this is super important for me, for us, for everybody here in order for me to stay motivated in doing these videos. And yeah, don't forget to see me in the next episode. Ciao, and thank you for watching.